Was that the bottom for the euro following the ceasefire in the Middle East, or is this just a bull trap? I have the answers in today's video. We're going to take a look at everything from the daily time frame down to the 12-hour, the 4-hour, and finally the 15-minute at the end of this video, so you have something actionable to walk away from this with. Now, I have to be honest with you too, I have a pretty good feel for what's happening with the euro, with the way this chart is lining up, especially when you consider what's happening in the Middle East. So my name is Justin Bennett, full-time trader and founder of Daily Price Action. As always, all of this is my opinion only and not financial advice. So looking at the EURUSD, what we're going to do here is go from the daily time frame down to the 4-hour time frame and finishing off with the 15 minutes so that we have something actionable at the end of this video. So right now on the daily time frame, what we can see here on the EURUSD is that yes, the market has been trending higher for about the last year and a half or so since the start of 2025. But like I've said in recent videos, what we had here from the euro, and I still think this is significant, is we had a bearish change of character. So if you're familiar with SMC, you know that this right here is potentially a trend reversal. Okay, so these breakup structures up here that you see, this is simply a continuation of the market where you get a high back here like this, you get the pullback, the market closes above it. This signals that sellers remain, or I'm sorry, the buyers remain in control here. Same thing over here, right? You get the pullback down here, we close above, this signals that buyers remain in control. Now, the moment that you have acceptance below an external low like this down here in the form of a change of character, this right here is potentially bullish. The fact that we had acceptance below here, okay? And this is the first time that we've seen the euro do this since back in 2024. So since this rally started in 2025, this right here, this change of character is the first time that we have seen this in really about a year and a half, actually more than that, technically about two years or so, because really you have to go all the way back here toward this price action to find something similar. Okay, so I do think that that is significant, and this is important because really twofold. On the one hand, you have this bearish change of character right here, and on the other hand, you have this imbalance right back here that we've talked about in recent videos. So this right here is what the market is mitigating so far today with that ceasefire in the Middle East. Okay, so obviously that has provided some relief to these markets, but the question is, right, is this just going to be the bottom for the euro where we get the market rallying higher back here toward the highs, or is this bearish change of character going to take over and we're going to get a lower high somewhere up here, with this really just being a mitigation of that imbalance? Personally, from what I'm seeing on the charts, everything again from the daily all the way down to the 4-hour, 15-minute, all of it, I think that this is more likely to be short-term relief from the euro before we get a lower low. Okay, now look, I'm not forecasting, I don't know the future, nobody does, but when I look at the charts, when I look at this right here, and again, this was the first time since way back in 2024 that we've seen this, I do think that this right here is significant and should not be ignored. Okay, so with that in mind, what this means too is if you're familiar with SMC, again, smart money concepts, when you get a change of character like this is not the short, okay? And this is where a lot of traders get it wrong, because they see something like this and they think, okay, this is bearish, let me start looking for shorts through here, right? But the issue there is that if you follow just basic rules for trading SMC, once you get a change of character like this, what you do is from the high up here, down here toward this low, we know that this is external high to external low now. What you can do is just plot this out. And we know that this right here is the 50%, basically off of this low back here. This is your 50%. Everything above here is going to be premium. Okay, so in order for me to look for shorts here, I have to see the market come into premium. It could just be as simple as something up here. It doesn't have to be all the way up here into OTE, which is the area between the 62% and the 79% retracement. So even if we get right up here and form a lower time frame change of character, that could be potentially a short. Okay. But knowing this right here, again, what we're doing here is we're essentially just coming back here to give us that efficient auction that we lacked in this area. Because of this displacement, the market wasn't able to provide that efficient auction. And so this right here is just a mitigation of that imbalance. That's all we're doing here, coming back to fully satisfy this region back here and provide that efficient auction. So again, we have the bearish change of character on the daily. Okay, so with that in mind, let's now take a look at the 4-hour time frame. And I'm going to keep this level up here too, because right now we know that this is the 50%. Okay, so in other words, for me to look for shorts here, I need to see this area up here. Okay, now looking at the 4-hour time frame, what we can see here is that this back here was the last bearish break of structure during this downtrend. Okay, so you can see that since this high back here in late January, we have had the market making lower highs and lower lows. So this BOS right here was the last time that we saw the market give us a low and give us an external high up here, right? We even swept this one, give us that external high, and then breaking the low. So what that meant for the euro is that really for the past few weeks, all of this has just been internal. Okay, so everything from this low down here up here to this high. Now I'm going to snap it right here to the level so we can get this exact. But basically all of this, guys, was just internal price action. Okay, just consolidation. And we all know why, because of the war that's happening in the Middle East, right? So this right here now that we've had acceptance above here, what we can call this is a change of character on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so if we label this a change of character here, we know that this could be short-term bullish. Now, same rules apply though, like we did on the daily time frame. What we do here is from external high to external low, we take our fibs and we say, okay, now that we have the change of character here, this is bullish. However, this is not the buy signal, because what you can see here is that we do have an imbalance for this market down here in this area. This candle is essentially just one massive inefficiency here for the euro. So my guess is we probably come down here and mitigate at least part of this. Now, here's where things are a little bit different though. I think that using this low down here, okay, this low up here to the high is a little bit misleading. Now look, we could come down here and sweep this low, okay, and come down here and tag this area, and technically it would still be bullish. This right here would still be valid. This is valid as long as the market is holding above this low down here. However, I think that what is potentially a little bit more realistic is to use a little bit more of an aggressive low, okay, an aggressive discount area based on this low right here. So what you'll notice is that on the 4-hour time frame, again, this is our imbalance right here. This candle's through here. You can also see though that if I move in, this candle right here, the candle right before that, is also technically an imbalance. Okay, so this right through here. What you'll notice is that this candle, okay, this candle right here, this was a very shallow retrace into that candle. So I wouldn't be at all surprised to see the euro come down here, completely wipe out this candle right here, because this was early longs. This was early longs just piling into this move. A lot of times when you get this, you do have the market essentially erasing that entire move and coming back here into this region. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for now on the 4-hour time frame, or at least that's what I think we could see. Now, what I'm going to show you on the 15-minute time frame though is going to either confirm or invalidate that idea. So all we're going to do here, guys, is we know that, again, this down here is going to be the imbalance right now that I'm watching. Okay, so on the 4-hour time frame. Now, what you'll also notice on the daily time frame, if we go in here, is that this high right up here, if we were to close up here today, then this down here could also become a fair value gap right there at the bottom of that rectangle that I drew. Okay, so this down here, guys, is the area that I'm watching here for the euro. Okay, now what is going to determine whether or not this becomes a likely pullback area is going to depend on what happens with the 15-minute time frame. So in order to explain this, and it's the same exact thing that we do on the daily time frame. I mean, it could be the weekly time frame, it could be the daily, it could be the 4-hour, 1-hour, 15-minute. It does not matter, guys. We're doing the same exact thing over and over again because markets are fractal, meaning that you see similar patterns on every single time frame. Okay, if I didn't tell you this is a 15-minute time frame, if I didn't tell you that, you would know if this was just a zoomed out view of, you know, a weekly or a monthly chart. You wouldn't know that because, again, markets are fractal and they do often rhyme, at least, with various patterns across all time frames. Okay, so all we're going to do here is just walk this up, right? We had the displacement back here. We know that this is an imbalance here for the euro, this entire region back here. Now we might see as low as this right here, but this, if we get what I'm about to show you on the 15-minute time frame, this through here around like 116.20, 116.30 would really be my base case. And by the way, if you do want to see how I trade SMC full time in full detail, check out the link right here on the screen. That's going to provide you with a free SMC course that's going to walk you through nearly 2 hours of content that you will not find on YouTube, exactly how I trade SMC. I'm going to walk you through market structure, my entry model, all of it, how to set targets, how to set stop losses. All of the details are in that video completely free. Beyond that, if you want to join us in Discord and get my help Monday through Friday with your trading, then you have the option to do so. If you don't see the link here on the screen, check out the description of this video for a link. All right, so with the EURUSD 15-minute time frame, what this is going to come down to, whether or not we see the pullback down here, is going to be, and you might be one step ahead of me here because again, it's the same exact concept and really process that we go through every single time. All we do is we walk this up. Okay, so back here, once we had this internal BOS, okay, so let's call this an IBOS, an internal break of structure here. What we have is we have this low. Okay, so this right here is the lowest point within this structure. Okay, so from this high over here to the point that we closed above, this is the lowest point. So this is the point here that buyers had to protect, and they did. Okay, we did not close below here. Now, if we move this over, what you can see is that we had another BOS, internal break of structure over here off of this high. Okay, so off of this high, you can see we got the close above. Now, this matters because what this means is that our protected low now moves up to this low right here. Okay, so what this comes down to at the moment, as of making this video, is that if we were to get a close, a 15-minute close below here, then it means that this up here becomes a change of character on the 15-minute time frame. Now, that it could be short-term bearish because remember that even though that could be a bearish signal on the 15, keep in mind that on the 4-hour time frame, we have a bullish signal in the form of a bullish change of character. Okay, so in other words, the 15-minute time frame, if we get a close below here, acceptance below this level, okay, that could signal a near-term top for a push down here into this imbalance, at which time, if you're looking for a long because of this bullish change of character, all you're doing is once again dropping down to a 5-minute, 15-minute time frame and looking for a bullish change of character down here in this area. Okay, so it's just step by step, guys, and it's just a different time frame, a different time horizon, if you will, but it's the same exact concept, the same exact process that we do over and over again. Okay, so to summarize right now, what we have is the daily time frame showing a bearish change of character. Okay, so this right here is bearish longer term. It does not mean that we can't see the euro move higher. Keep that in mind. This right here is just signaling that this trend that we've seen since the start of 2025 is starting to weaken. Now, at the same time, on the 4-hour time frame, we have a bullish change of character. Okay, so following the acceptance above this high back here, we have a bullish change of character. However, we also have this imbalance back here, this entire region down here, potentially as low as, below 116. And then on the 15-minute time frame, we don't have confirmation just yet as of this video. But again, if we were to see acceptance below this low right here, then we could get that push down here into this imbalance. So with all of that said, how could this play out over the coming weeks? And look, I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody does. And this is not about forecasting. It's never about forecasting or predicting. But if I were to take a guess at the most likely scenario, given what the chart is saying, given the fact that we have that bearish change of character on the daily, the 4-hour is technically bullish now. We have this unmitigated imbalance still up here. We even have an open gap up here as well for the euro. How could this play out over the coming weeks? Well, right now, what I'm seeing on, let's say, the 12-hour time frame is if you move in here off of these recent lows, okay, what we can see is that we do have some potential symmetry forming in this market. Now, when I say symmetry, what I'm referring to there is the way the market essentially revolves around a mean or average price. So what you'll often see, and you can see it back here as well, we talked about this a lot during this downtrend, is that what you'll often see from markets is that they will revolve around these means. Okay, so if this is the mean price through here, you get the market essentially distributing to either side of this. Okay, and you can see where we're getting acceptance above that descending channel. And now with this ascending channel, it's the same thing. If this is your mean price through here, you get the market essentially distributing around this. Okay, so with this in mind, right, this also kind of lines up with what I just talked about, where, potentially, right, it could be this low down here. Okay, in other words, we see the market pull back into this region over the coming days. All right, so pull back down here in this area, possibly even a bit lower, right? Get the pushback up here toward this area. Now, this is our 50% line. This is also an open gap back here and essentially the top of this imbalance for the euro that started back here with this high all the way down here to this high. So what I kind of think we could get from the euro, and again, I'm not forecasting, guys. I'm not just going to trade this blindly based on this forecast, okay? But what I think that we could potentially see from the euro, if we get that 15-minute confirmation I just talked about, then we could get the pullback down here into this imbalance. I don't know if this is going to take a week or 2 weeks or even happen at all. But what we could get is a push down here into this region, right? Fill that imbalance, and then possibly a move up here into this area, right? Mitigate the imbalance back here, possibly even fill that open gap. And then from there, possibly the downtrend begins, because remember, the daily time frame, guys, is showing us that bearish change of character. Now look, as far as timing, guys, again, this is not a forecast. I'm not trying to say that it's going to happen within this time frame or even that it will happen at all, because I don't trade based on this arrow I've drawn. I trade based on the rules I have set up for my stack system, which I've developed and that I also teach in the VIP group as well. All right, so looking at the chart, so I do kind of think, guys, that is what we could potentially see from the euro over the coming weeks, just based on the structure that I'm seeing here and also the imbalances that I'm seeing following the move over the past 24 hours. But right now, bottom line, 4 hour, guys, we do have that bullish change of character. We still have this open imbalance back here as well. We are starting to mitigate some of this from back here, but there's still a large portion of this up here that is left unmitigated. However, like I said, on the 15-minute time frame, very short term, over the next, let's say, 24 to 48 hours, this right here, if we do get the euro confirming below here, giving us acceptance below this low, this becomes a change of character, and we could get the push down here toward this imbalance. So keep it locked in here, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one, and also check out the free SMC course right here on the screen. That's going to show you exactly how I trade SMC full time. As always, trade well out there. I will talk to you again tomorrow.